Hello everybody and welcome to another preview, board game review, and gameplay demo video, this time for Triumphus. This is a card game that's going to be coming to Kickstarter relatively soon, and the creators were nice enough to send me a copy so I could take a look at it as well as share all my thoughts with you. This game plays between 2 and 4 people, and it only takes about 20 to 30 minutes once everything really gets going. The story behind it is that the Emperor is trying to throw a big party, and it's up to you guys, the players, to get all of the entertainment, food, wine, and all of that kind of stuff set up. Mechanically, it's very simple. All you're doing is playing resource cards from your hand in order to collect reward cards that are shared on the table. But with that, we're going to jump right into exactly what this game is similar to. Two major ones I wanted to mention. The first one is At the Gates of Leon. In this game, you have a relatively similar order fulfillment system where you've got a card that shows resources that you need. You play the resources and then you say, this is fulfilled, it's done, and you get the rewards. That said, the Gates of Leon is a much more complicated game. You've got a lot more moving parts, a lot more mechanics involved, whereas Triumphus is a little bit more streamlined and it's a very simple, strictly card-based game. The other similarity I wanted to talk about is Triumphus. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, but honestly not sure. In this game, you have a very similar sort of trading mechanic, and it feels a little bit more like what Triumphus is going for thematically, where you have your camels and your resources and you're trying to trade them across, fulfill orders, and sort of do all of that kind of stuff simultaneously. Now, as with Gates of Leon, then Triumphus has some different sort of mechanics. The camels are necessary to trade cards and move them around and all that kind of stuff, whereas in Triumphus, it's simply action, action, action type of thing. So it's much more simplified, like I said, much more streamlined. But with that, we're going to jump right into how to play Triumphus. Triumphus is a very easy game to set up and play. Essentially, all of the players will begin with 5 of the supply cards, and these will represent the different supplies that they have to try and run the party that our Emperor is trying to throw. These are going to be put towards the rewards cards. Rewards cards are going to start in the middle of the table, and we're going to have 5 of them face up at all times, which will be available to be claimed by any of the players. The game goes until we are out of rewards cards after they have all been claimed, and then we see who has the most points. Points being represented by the numbers on the top corner of all of the rewards cards as we go through. So during the game, on your turn, you're able to take any of 3 actions. You can do all 3 of them in any order. You can exchange supplies, collect rewards, or sell rewards. When you exchange your supplies, you do exactly what it seems like. You look at your cards, look at what's available, and you say, well, I don't really need these. So you take some number of cards. It is from 0 to 3. You can take them, put them face up in a discard pile, show them to all the players, and then you draw the same number back to your hand in secret. Now after that, you notice I got 2 wine cards, so now I have a total of 3. I can claim a reward. So I will say I have 3 wine cards, put them in the discard, and then take this, leave it face up in my player area, indicating that I have earned that particular reward. The last piece is that you are able to sell a reward. The way that this works is this is how you get cards back. Essentially, on each of the cards, you'll have the reward amount, and what you do is you can take any of these cards and flip them face down, and when you do that, you're able to draw that number of cards. So in this case, that was a 6, so I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the supply cards into my hand. At the end of your turn, if you have 10 cards or more, if you have more than 10 cards, you must discard down to 10, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, I took one of the cards, we refill it, put a new card back there, and we keep going until all of the rewards are gone. At the end of the game, all of your face-up cards are worth whatever the face values are, and all of the face-down cards, the ones that you traded in for the additional cards, are going to be worth 1 point each. So that's really where the strategic decision-making comes into play, especially in the late game, is trying to get those last few rewards cards where you all have a nice stack of them, and the question is, do I want to keep that 7, or do I really want to take those 7 cards? So it becomes pretty fascinating and quite intense towards the end of the game, but that's really all there is to it. That's all of Triumphus. The only last little note is if you run out of supply cards, just reshuffle the discard pile and make a new draw pile. They never really run out. The only thing is once these are gone, game's over. But with that, we're just going to jump right into my general conclusions and thoughts about the game. For For me, overall, I had a decent experience with Triumphus. I thought that the creators did a decent job of going through and streamlining all of the mechanics to make it very easy to pick up and play. Not to mention, the game is compact enough that you can easily put it in your pocket or your purse or whatever it happens to be, take it to and from a game night or anything along those lines. Even somebody who's never played a game before can pick it up very quickly, and it doesn't lend itself to analysis paralysis, which is really big for me. The rounds go nice and smoothly, and it doesn't take too long between your turns. In addition, I love the art of this game. I like the fact that they really went with that old school Greek vase style art that you see all the time on the ancient Greek stuff that we see all the time, essentially. I think they captured that very, very nicely, and it fits the theme wonderfully well. But that said, again, it's very simple, and it's also very random because the entire thing is just based off of your random card draws. You might get really lucky or you might get really unlucky, and that means that you do have a good amount of replayability, which is wonderful to see in a game like this. But at the same time, for me personally, it would be little more than a filler game and not something that I would really want to play 2 or 3 times in a single night, particularly because the strategic decision making primarily is going to come towards the end of the game when you're really trying to figure out, should I keep my rewards, trade them in, or what am I going to have to do in order to try to make sure that I come out on top. That's really where the game shines, but like I said, it's not really until the end game. So with that, if it sounds like something for you where you're looking for a relatively quick, really easy to learn and play filler game, then perhaps Triumphus is for you. You can take a look at the Kickstarter link in the description below. Like I said, it's going to be coming soon. But with that, thank you so much for watching this regardless. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.